All right, Boomer Live.
I got eaten up.
What episode is this? 65, episode 65, MMA Complete. September 23rd, 2 days away from UFC 266. Joined by Austin, Mark, newest guest, Ethan. Thank you for coming on. We have the pay-per-view coming up this weekend, and we got a pod bet already working.
We got the name.
Let's get some stuff out of the way. First of all, we had Anthony Smith beat Ryan Spann by first round submission. I'm pretty sure it was last week. Is that right?
Anthony Smith. I should have bet on
I think it was first round, yeah.
Wow.
And then he kind of talked some shit in the octagon right afterwards, which is cool to see.
Our guy.
Anthony Smith probably going to be, if he's not already, top 5 in the light heavyweight division.
I think he's 4. We'll get there.
He is 4.
We'll get there, Austin.
He's jumped Thiago and Dominic Reyes. All right, so good for Anthony Smith.
He called out Rakic.
He did call out Rakic. Who did Rakic just beat? Not just beat, but a couple months ago. Was it Santos?
I think so, yes.
I'm pretty sure it was. It was like the biggest snooze fest of a pay-per-view. But Rakic did win. And then we also have Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker next weekend. That is going to be a crazy fight.
Who do you guys got? I think I got Johnny Walker.
Santos.
Oh, man. Santos has had a bad skid, though. He lost to Jones. He tore up both his fucking legs, but he lost to Jones. Then he lost to Glover Teixeira, and then he lost to Rakic. That's a tough skid. And Johnny Walker hasn't fought in, I think, 2 years.
I feel like the UFC just hypes up Johnny Walker.
They absolutely
do.
He's like 6'5", 205, obviously, but he's like a kickboxer that throws some ridiculous kicks. He's one of those guys that on paper, he's really more interesting than he actually is as a fighter. Thiago Santos is obviously one of the best light heavyweights we've seen in the last 5 years. But I'll say this. Thiago Santos is almost at a Tony Ferguson spot where he really needs a win or he's not going to be getting these top 5 guys anymore. Not that Johnny Walker is top 5 anymore, but he certainly has the pedigree for it.
Yeah, he for sure needs to keep winning.
We also got Misha Serkinov and Krzysztof Jotko. I believe those two are both middleweight ranked. Nope, I'm totally lying. But Misha Serkinov has been around forever. He's looking to make one last push. I do believe he's like 36, something like that. 34. So that's a decent little card we got next weekend. Nothing to scoff about. Actually, Kevin Holland is fighting as well. Aspen Ladd's fighting. Nico Price is fighting. Oh, okay. So it's a really good card next weekend for a fight night.
Kyle Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins versus Holland is actually a really interesting fight. Kevin Holland has an 81-inch reach.
He's got a giant set of arms.
It's a good way to segue. Next week we're going to continue our personal rankings of the UFC divisions. Last week, if you didn't check it out, we did bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, which is probably the 3 most contentious divisions in the whole UFC. Go check that out on the YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. Go follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA. So we are going to jump right into UFC 266.
What we came to do.
Oh, actually, my fucking commercial actually loaded. I actually got commercials back, so we're gonna take a quick moment. Word from not our sponsors, but word from our parent company. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast, brought to you by Naked Sports. Go check out nakedsports.com, fanboysports.com. Follow us on Twitter and go to our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're going to be jumping right into UFC 266. So to start off, we are going – let me share the screen real quick. Oh. This is so not the right way to do it. Let me do this. Technical difficulties, we'll get there eventually.
It was canceled, but now, share.
That's definitely not it.
That's just sharing the current browser, right?
I don't know what's going on.
All right, so I wanted that one. All right, UFC 266, obviously taking place this weekend. Prelims start at 8 o'clock, just like our live stream will start. We live stream every single pay-per-view, so come check us out at 8 p.m. We go all the way to 1 a.m. or whenever the main event ends. And prelims for this, I mean, we say this. I feel like we say this just about every single pay-per-view, at least for the last couple months. But the prelims for this pay-per-view are actually pretty insane. We have 5 fighters ranked in the top 15 fighting in the prelims. Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Chris Daukaus is 7 versus 10, respectively, in the heavyweight division. We got Dan Hooker, who's currently 8th in the lightweight division, and then Marlon Moraes is 6. Merab Wallace-Willie is 14 for bantamweight. That's probably
That's a pod.
we can get to that in 1 second, but that's probably the most interesting fight of the prelims, just because there is a big separation between those two ranks, Wallace-Willie and Moraes.
Mm-hmm.
But Wallace-Willie is, I mean, we talked about it when we did our bantamweight rankings last week. But I'm a huge fan of him. He has one of the best wrestling, it's so hard to compare someone to Khabib. But if there is someone that has the style of Khabib, not quite the efficiency, the productivity of Khabib, but he's someone that'll just take you down, get in your face, give you pressure. He's going against Marlon Moraes, who's a stand-up striker. But we'll get to that in a second. First off, I'm going to be completely honest. Roxanne Modafferi versus Talia Santos, I have no idea about. Women's flyweight. Let's check if they're ranked.
Never heard Italian fighter. Italian
Never
female
heard
fighter
either. I'd go with Santos based off
Yeah.
records.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Talia Santos, 12th ranked. Roxanne Modafferi, 9th ranked. So maybe Modafferi will win. Who knows?
I'm going to go.
I'm going Santos based off
Yeah.
record.
17-1 for
25 and
Wow.
19.
That's a long
What
career.
the
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
You gotta go
44
record there.
fights.
17 and 1.
Age.
All right, hang on.
Old. 38.
This is
38
when-
versus
this
28.
10
Everything
years.
else is virtually the same.
Younger fighter.
Yeah, Talia Santos, 28. I'm going to go with Talia Santos. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
that's
going
a,
with
that's a
Talia
pretty
Santos.
easy pick.
And then we also, next fight, heavyweight fight between 2 top 10 ranked heavyweights. When is the last time we saw that in a prelim? I don't know if we've seen that in the last year, let alone maybe ever. We've probably seen it once or twice ever, but in the last year, I doubt it.
They like to keep the heavyweights for the main card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and I get that the heavyweight division 5 through 10, or you could say like 7 through 7 down, is really, there's no big names. Marcin Tybura is probably the biggest name of that ranking. Chris Daukaus definitely has a bigger name than Shamil Abdurakhimov, although I do believe I'm going to stop sharing the screen now because it's definitely.
Whoa.
But I do believe Abdurakhimov is on I think
He's
he's
a loss streak.
Is he on a loss? I thought this was only like a second fight in the UFC. Oh no, I'm totally wrong.
Oh, people are hammering.
Okay, so he lost to Curtis Blades, which is a great win, which is a great loss. Before that, he beat Andrei Arlovski and Marcin Tybura. His only 3 losses are against Tim Johnson, who used to be top 15 ranked back when he lost in 2015, Derek Lewis, and Curtis Blades. So that's a really good loss record.
Those are all good fighters.
What did we have for tail of the tape? I didn't even think to check it. All right, so Abdurakhimov is 40, Chris Daukaus is 31. Everything else is identical. Chris Daukaus is
He's in his prime right now.
now. We don't have the official weights obviously yet. The press conference is tomorrow.
I
The
saw
weigh-ins
some
is tomorrow.
highlights of Daukaus, and he looks impressive.
Dude, he's
He's a quick fighter. He's
Yeah.
fast for a heavyweight.
and
Yeah.
he's, if I'm thinking of the right guy, he's shredded. So I think I totally am kind of. I've seen a little bit of Abdurakhimov, but I'm kind of basing this off what I think he's like rather than really doing my research. I'll be honest, I didn't do a whole lot for this fight. But I'm pretty sure they're both stand-up fighters. And I'm pretty sure that I would give Daukaus, not only because he's younger, he's probably more conditioned. He looks to be in better shape. But Abdurakhimov does have a good loss record, man. Just to Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis in the last 4 years.
Yeah, but he's only fought, September
He hasn't
7th.
fought
So in 2019, he hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah,
Was
20,
that his last fight? He lost in-
2019.
Oh, damn.
Whereas Chris Daukaus is on a 3-fight win streak in the UFC. Last fight, he knocked out Alexei Oleinik in the first round in a dominant performance, 34-5 strikes. You know, that's really his only big win. Whereas you can look at Abdurakhimov and you could say that he has a couple wins. He has Andrei Arlovsky, Marcin Tybura, Walt Harris, and Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman's a little past
pretty
his prime
decent
now.
wins though.
Right. And he mixes up between knockout and decision. He's never lost a decision either.
Look at those punch
That's
counts,
something to look at.
totals for the decisions that he's in though.
Right.
They're around 50.
Dude, he gets knocked out, huh?
He's gotten knocked out 3 times by 3 big guys. Well, Curtis Blades isn't a heavy hitter.
Can you go to Chris Dawkins'
Yeah, knocked out by
record?
Curtis
Does
Blades.
Chris Dawkins knock people out?
that's
I mean, he's
Yep.
in heavyweight, so
Yep.
he must.
All 3 fights have been a first-round knockout. His last 2 fights didn't even get out of the first 2 minutes. But again, they're not against top-ranked opponents. Alexei Oleinik is definitely the best fighter he's fought, but Alexei Oleinik also got knocked out by Derek Lewis. And Oleinik's like a jiu-jitsu fighter.
guy's gonna
He's
beat his
not.
He's a
ass.
great wrestler.
He's
too.
not.
He's
a
gonna
Dawkins.
beat his ass. Chris Dawkins.
I'm gonna
is
go
winning
ahead
the
and say
first round.
Dawkins.
I
Yeah.
don't know about first round, but he's winning.
He's winning by knockout, so I'm betting him by knockout.
Chris Dawkins is
By
also.
knockout, I can agree with.
Chris
I might
Dawkins
put
is
a rack on
a quick fighter.
him.
10 units.
A lot like Tom Aspinall. you
One
know,
rack.
A fast heavyweight. That's
Yeah.
what I
Chris
saw.
Dawkins
That's
by
what it was.
knockout.
Chris Dawkins also has 100%
Good
takedown
technique.
defense.
That's good.
Great technique.
Right.
Dude,
All right.
he's
So
only
Dawkins, everybody.
I've got Chris
he's
Dawkins.
only minus 2 units.
Okay, that's not bad. Next we got.
Minus 200.
Next we have Dan Hooker versus. What the fuck?
Can't really
is this
say
guy's
numbers,
name?
but we'll
I
do it
don't-
anyway. Yeah.
I don't know why this is not coming up,
Yeah, that is strange.
but it's Nakrat Hakparast fighting Dan Hooker.
Hard name to pronounce.
Yeah, especially when it isn't showing up right in front of me. What were you saying about Dan Hooker's visa?
I heard Israel Adesanya saying that the government was trying to shut down their training camps,
No shit.
and they were having a real hard time getting their training camps together. And the New Zealand government was giving Dan Hooker a hard time getting his visa to come and fight for this fight.
That's kind of crazy.
Now that, I mean, you can argue that is definitely going to weigh in on his training over the last couple weeks. However, we know that really when it comes down to especially lightweights, the last couple days is mostly just for weight cuts. And they're probably, I mean, they're training, of course, but they're not training as heavily as they have been the last couple weeks. But that's definitely something that's going to be at least on his mind, if not taking a toll on his body going into the fight, in a fight that Dan Hooker already really needs to win.
I heard on Ariel's podcast the other day that Dan Hooker said that he's gonna, as of I think it was either Monday or Wednesday, that he was weighing around 170 pounds and that he thinks he'll make the weight cut.
15 pounds and
Dan Hooker?
That's
Yeah,
about good
that's
for
what
15
lightweights.
pounds in like
Not bad.
4 days.
That's
It's
totally
It's
possible.
doable. We saw Khabib do it for his entire career.
You know
Khabib
what
did it
Khabib
for
weighs
way
in?
more weight.
You know what Khabib weighs in?
He said he was pretty confident he would make weight.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's just something to keep an eye on. And if he is looking sluggish, I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the key contributors. His opponent, Nasrat Hakparast, is on a 2-fight win streak against Alexander Munoz and Rafa Garcia. His latest loss was January 2020 to Drew Dober, who is looking at his record, probably the best fighter he has fought. And not to disrespect Drew Dober, but I would definitely put Dan Hooker on a higher platform than Dober. So this is definitely Hakparast's toughest fight. Whereas you got Dan Hooker, who's coming off back-to-back losses against 2 of the top 4 ranked lightweights in the world. And before that, he also beat Paul Felder, Al Went to James Vick. We know about Dan Hooker. He's a great striker. He got flatlined by Michael Chandler in one of the craziest debuts we've seen in the UFC in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And before that, he lost to Poirier, and that is
You
can't say shit about
number
it.
1, basically.
so on paper. I would Dan Hooker's definitely the betting favorite. I would say like a good 3 units.
I'd say that's a
I
pretty clear
think Dan
pick
Hooker's an
for
easy.
Dan Hooker.
Right.
You're gonna put it
I
on
would
parlay.
definitely put Dan Hooker. Too bad
know,
I
there's
don't.
a chance though.
Oh, there's
the
absolutely a
conditions.
chance.
It
Right.
could be, yeah. Coming in late, having a time switch totally messes you up.
Yeah, jet lag.
This is for this weekend?
Yeah,
Comes
this
in
is
with a
this
sore
weekend.
neck, you know.
Damn,
Yeah.
it's not even on here.
I don't know why.
I might take Dan Hooker on my parlay, but I
I
might do one just to back it up where I have the other guy.
is it worth the sweat on a parlay? I don't know. Probably.
I don't know what the
Depends
number
on
is.
the number.
I don't know what the number is. It's not on Tiverton Sportsbook.
It's not.
I'll go
Not
on,
right now.
I'll go on my bookie.
All right. Well, while we're figuring that out, we can go on to the last
What do you
fight
bet
of the
on, Mark?
prelims.
Usually Tiverton. Yeah. When I do. I stop for a while because a losing streak. You know?
Yeah.
See, I had a great
almost-
I had
and
a
an
great
almost
losing streak,
jackpot.
and then I stopped betting. But I just kept putting my picks out there, and my picks were betting every single week. And then I bet on Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gahn for the first time I bet in a while, and obviously that didn't go well, so I haven't been betting a lot lately. Last fight on the prelims, Marlon Moraes versus Merab Walashvili. I am definitely taking Walashvili,
Dan Hooker's odds.
but that is totally biased.
minus
See?
1.5 units. It's not bad. It's not bad for a parlay.
It's under -1. It's -145.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's very interesting. We try
What
not
is
to,
it?
We try not to
What
give
is
out
it?
too many like pure numbers because that can get
Minus
flagged
145.
on different stuff. That
Dan
is
Hooker?
very interesting.
Dan Hooker.
That probably would be worth a pod bet. But let's see what else we can get on here before we start making any. Marlon Moraes versus Merab Walashvili.
I go Walashvili.
Me too.
Let
And
me
he's not that bad. He's worth it. He's a good parlay number.
right, and I believe when we looked at the bantamweight rankings, Moraes is on a
That might
Lost.
2-fight losing streak, but it is against Sandhagen and Font.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 tough fights.
I mean, in his let's look at. We know that Jose Aldo versus Marlon Moraes was called for Marlon Moraes. However, everybody, including Joe Rogan, Dana White, and Ariel Helwani, have all said that it was clear as day that Jose Aldo should have won the split decision.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't, so we can't say that he should have won, but there's enough people saying it that he at least has an asterisk on that. So if you count that as a loss, which you can't, but we're going to do just for this sake, he's had 4 losses in a row. Cejudo, Aldo, Sandhagen, Font. Now that's a great loss record for 4 fights in a row.
You think that kills his spirits a bit?
I think it makes him hungrier, no? I mean, you would think.
That's
you
what
could
I
say
feel
the
with
same
Dan
thing
Hooker.
about everybody.
What's
But can you turn it around?
Right. And can you turn around against a guy who, not for nothing, has a completely different style than everybody you fought? Except maybe Cejudo. Cejudo is probably the closest comparison to Merab Walashvili as far as fighting styles.
let's look down the takedown numbers. What were the takedown numbers for Cejudo versus Moraes?
Cejudo got 1 takedown.
Yeah, 1.
1 takedown. He had 4 tries, so Moraes stuffed 75% of the takedowns, which is pretty
Didn't
good.
really attempt that much though.
Moraes has a 66% takedown defense. That's pretty good. He's taken his opponent down 4 times compared to 0 in his last 3 fights. But then again, he's fighting people who don't take people down. I will say this: if Moraes gets on the ground with Walashvili, the fight could stop pretty quickly. In his last, oh my God, look at those
Looks
fucking
like it
numbers!
won't stop very quickly.
Jesus.
Unanimous.
Decision.
Huh?
All right, so these are his last fights. I'm gonna break down his last fights from latest to farthest away from takedowns that Walashvili got. 5 against Cody Stammen, 2 against John
Holy
Dodson,
shit.
13 against Gustavo Lopez, 12 against Casey Kenny, 5 against Brad Katana, and 5 against Taryn Ware.
That's an impressive win record too.
I wonder what he's gonna try to do this weekend.
That's
I wonder what his game plan is. Jesus Christ.
he took down John Dodson twice. That's
He
pretty
beat
impressive.
John Dodson and Case Kenny, 2 good
And
Fighters.
Cody Stammen.
Yeah, this guy's gonna win, huh?
for
I
sure.
definitely his takedown defense is also 78%. So if Marlon Moraes does go for it, he's probably not getting it.
I'll look at those numbers very quick.
Walashvili has a 1-inch reach advantage. He's also 3 years
think-
the younger
I
than
think he's the
Marlon
favorite.
Moraes.
He's a big favorite.
I would put Marlon Moraes is ranked way higher. Like if I'm not mistaken, this is a gap in this fight. Marlon Moraes is 6. Walashvili's 11.
He's
That is-
gonna move up.
That's a
Yeah,
big
but
jump.
he's the underdog. I mean, he's the favorite.
He's gonna move up though in rankings.
I
that's
would
for
think
sure.
so.
Walashvili.
I got
name.
yeah. I'm also biased towards this guy. I've been watching him for the last year or 2. I can't remember exactly what fight I saw. It was probably one of the ones they had 13 takedowns. But I saw him and I was like, oh, this guy's up next.
What weight class is that?
Bantam. Yeah, it might have been the John Dodson fight. It honestly might have been the Dodson. I just thought he looked super impressive.
He's gonna have a last name. Jesus. What the hell?
So since his first fight in the UFC in 2017, the closest anyone has ever come to matching his strike totals was Casey Kenny, and he was 18 strikes less. So Wallace Willie's not only taking everybody down, but he's landing more strikes. And obviously, we see that he has a 6-fight unanimous decision victory streak.
Okay.
He's grounding and
Oh, yeah.
pounding.
Yeah. And look at the KO that he got. It was.
He got knocked out by Ricky Simon.
Oh, he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got knocked out with 0 seconds left in the third round.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Wow.
Casey Kenny's really tough too.
Yeah, he is. Casey Kenny's also really good at grappling.
I'm a
And
fan
Casey
of
Kenny got
Casey.
taken down 12 fucking times. That's so crazy. Can we see 12 of 24 takedowns?
How did that fight
He
end?
attempted 24 unanimous decision. For
That's a
Wallace
great
Willie.
I mean, he's
gas
got
tank
good
on
cardio.
football.
Yeah, I was.
That's an amazing tank.
Jesus.
And to not
Let's
get
see,
knocked
how
out
many-
in all those takedowns, that's impressive.
So against Stammen, he was 5 of 11. Against Dodson, he was 2 of 20. Gustavo Lopez, 13 of 18. So his output is ridiculous. Whether or not he gets the takedown is questionable. And I mean, Marlon Moraes does have a good jiu-jitsu background.
But that might make Marlon Moraes more willing to go to his back.
But here's
More comfortable on
here's
the
the
ground.
biggest thing I'm getting from this. Mira Wallace Willie has cardio like a motherfucker. He's just going to be going for the takedown and not stopping and pressuring. And I mean, Moraes totally could catch him because Moraes has a lot of power, strikes, kicking, whatever you want to say. But I mean, unless Wallace Willie gets knocked out, and I'm going to say he gets knocked out, unless he gets knocked out in the first 2 rounds, I got Wallace Willie all day.
I agree.
I totally picked
Everybody?
Yeah.
All right. That might be a pod bet.
Oh shit.
And I think he's the underdog. That might be a pod
No,
bet.
He's
Is he the favorite?
Yeah, favorite.
All right, before we go on to the main card, we're going to take another commercial break. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast brought to you by Naked Sports, Fans Only Sports. Go check us out at nakedsports.com, fansonlysports.com. Go check out our YouTube page at MMA Complete Podcast and go follow us on Twitter right here at complete_MMA. We're going to be doing a lot of polls. We're going to be doing a lot of questions coming up for the pay-per-view, and we're going to be live tweeting through the event. Make sure you check us out this Saturday at 8 p.m. where we're going to be live streaming the entirety of the prelims and the main card of UFC 266. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're going to be talking about the main card, UFC 266. First fight on that. By the way, this main card is pretty ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous, this main card. 5 fights in a row. All, I believe, besides the, we'll call it the celebrity match of this UFC card.
It is.
I guess
It
so.
really is.
All other fights are between top 6 fighters in their respective divisions. So this main card is going to be not only really entertaining and probably spectacular, but it's going to be meaningful.
That's a
which is
stacked
the biggest
card.
thing.
Just looking at
Stacked.
that is stacked.
Dude, it's stacked. Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo, women's flyweight division, is what's going to kick off our main card. Flyweight, we have Calvillo at 5, and Andrade is the number 1 contender for the flyweight division, obviously being the latest loser to Valentina Shevchenko, who we will get to in a minute. He's there. Jessica Andrade, 21-9. Cynthia Calvillo is 9-2-1.
Yeah.
Tail of the tape, we got 2-inch reach advantage for Calvillo. Calvillo is also the 5 years, the senior of Andrade, and a little bit taller. Jessica Andrade is definitely one of the shortest people in the entire UFC, obviously, but women's flyweight division in particular.
Has an OnlyFans.
Does
Can
she?
confirm?
Can you?
Can
Or are you
confirm.
just talking shit?
Didn't want to confirm. Can confirm.
Who knows? Maybe she'll get some support for that. So both fighters coming off a loss. Andrade coming off a pretty bad loss against Shevchenko. Shevchenko.
Decimated.
We saw
her out.
we saw
Knocked her
the
out.
we saw the Shevchenko fight where she fought Jennifer Maia, where she got exposed in the first round.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I mean, she went 2 rounds with Andrade, and obviously she finished off the fight with Maia. That's 4 extra rounds. So the last 6 rounds we've seen Shevchenko, utter domination. Like 10-8 rounds, like 4 out of the 6 rounds. We saw Valentina Shevchenko, one of the best kickboxers in the world, take down and dominate on the ground one of the best wrestlers in the division, Jennifer Maia.
7 times.
And then Jessica Andrade, who might be the best jiu-jitsu fighter in that division. Jessica Andrade is like Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt from Brazil. I mean, I don't have all the accolades, but she has a very large pedigree of jiu-jitsu background that she gets acclaimed for all the time by all these, Joe Rogans and everybody. And Valentina Shevchenko took her down 7 times. And she also took down Jennifer Maia like 5 times in their fight. It's ridiculous.
Is it crazy to think crazy first round knockout possibility
For who?
for Andrade?
No, not at all. I think
Andrade has
crazy. Like, I'm not saying
Andrade-
it's gonna happen.
Andrade
Not
has
saying.
good power in her fist, so she has power.
Can we talk
I
about
think she might
her?
win.
Can we
I
talk
think she will
about
win.
Andrade's loss record real quick?
Versus
Shevchenko,
Shevchenko.
Namajunas.
No. She's not fighting Shevchenko.
No, she's not fighting.
Well, she
Shevchenko.
also beat
Oh.
Nami Yunus, hasn't she?
Oh, it's
Yes.
all right. I'm getting confused because I'm looking at this.
Her loss
I'm thinking-
record is Shevchenko, Rose Namajunas, Wiley Zhang, and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. By the way,
Damn.
she did beat Rose in their first fight.
I will call that a freak victory. I've never seen. Well, we've seen it with like Matt Hughes and something when a fighter gets slammed on their head and get
Mhm.
knocked out cold.
Now, was she the one that
Yeah,
slammed
it was a
Rose?
slam. Yeah,
she slammed Rose, right?
Rose.
Yes.
'Cause Rose jumped for a Kimura,
Mm-hmm.
and big mistake.
Right.
Got tossed right over her head.
Oh yeah, it says right here, knockout by slam. And then
That's tough.
but these last 5 fights,
shit
man,
hurt.
you could even count her 6th fight against Karolina Kowalkiewicz as one of the premier fights. She fought Rose, Wiley Zhang, Rose, Katlyn Chukagian, and Valentina Shevchenko.
What a
That
loss
That is
is an all-star cast, and that's why she's the #1 contender in the flyweight division.
Yeah,
the only
makes
reason she
sense.
doesn't have a fight is because she just lost. Cynthia Calvillo, on the other hand, has she has a loss against Chukagian, which is respectable, but obviously we just saw that Andrade did beat Chukagian. She lost to Marina Rodriguez by majority decision or split decision, which is on the fence. Not bad. She lost to Carla Esparza, who is now making her way, I believe, in the bantamweight division, featherweight division. I think it's
Yeah,
bantamweight.
she's a top contender.
Yeah, she just beat Yan Xiaonan. Strawweight. I'm wrong. And then her wins are she beat Joanne Calderwood 4 years ago. She beat Jessica I last year. Nothing that really pops. I think this was more of we need to get Jessica Andrade a fight because we want to see her fight for a title again. I have Jessica Andrade all the way in this fight.
Yeah, 100%. And she's minus 2.5 units. So that's
So
pretty
Vegas
effective.
does too. And Andrade is 5 years younger to boot. So this is a pretty clear one for
Gotta
me.
take Andrade.
Yeah, you have to take Andrade. All right, and now we get into
The
the
meat and
meat and
potatoes.
potatoes. I was literally going to say that. That's why you
Just
say
thinking
that.
of it.
Curtis Blades versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. First of all, Blades versus Rosenstrike being the 4th fight from the top says something about this card. That could headline any fight night because both of these guys have headlined 2 fight nights apiece in the last year.
2 top 10 fighters.
They're
In the
both
heavyweight.
they're top 6.
Yeah.
Blades is I think 5 and Rosenstrike I believe is 6. Blades is 4, Rosenstrike is 6.
Maybe with this matchup, they were hoping to see another fucking powerhouse knockout on Curtis Blades.
Well, that's the thing, man.
I
Like,
don't think it happens.
No.
though.
is it a
No.
clone? Is it a clone copy of Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades?
No, they're not the same.
I think
They're not
Rosenstrike's
the same.
tired after the first 3 minutes of the fight.
Well, I don't. We saw Rosenstrike go to a decision with Cyril Gahn.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
he
the
got
way, that's the way
absolutely
Cyril Gahn
battered.
kind of fights. Though.
Right.
Yeah, he's a
Right.
point fighter.
We saw Lewis
Yeah.
go through almost 3 rounds And I mean, he got fucking dominated, but
It was
he went.
bad. It was bad.
So that's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Curtis Blades, this is my most confident fight of the entire night. I got Curtis Blades, and it's not even close. Curtis Blades is the best wrestler in the division, unless you count John Jones, which I would.
Oh, what about Stipe? Do you think Stipe's wrestling?
He's a better wrestler than Stipe.
Might be. That is his game ban because
Stipe is a great
Stipe
wrestler.
also has good stand up too.
Yeah.
Right, he's a great wrestler, but he doesn't really go to the ground. He's like an Usman.
And John Jones would weigh more than him too.
John Jones is talking about coming in at 265, possibly weighing
If
280.
he came in at
Follow him on
265,
Instagram?
he's
he's looking like a beast on Instagram.
Yeah, he's looking
Shredded.
thick.
Yeah, he's showing some pad
Yes.
work. He's looking good.
Very heavyweight John Jones.
The last time we did see Rosenstrike, though, he was in much better shape. That is something to keep in mind. I don't know if he's been working with a nutritionist or he has a new training regime, but he did look in much better shape. Curtis Blades always comes in at great shape. He comes in at like 240. Rosenstrike usually comes in at 265. But Curtis Blades, I can see taking down Rosenstrike 12 times in this fight.
I could see that happening too, especially once tiredness factors in, fatigue.
I
Now,
think Curtis Blades by decision is.
Doesn't he have a reach advantage too?
reach
And height?
advantage. Curtis
2
Blades,
inches?
1 inch height, 2 inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
That's something to know.
Now, here's another thing about Rosenstrike. Rosenstrike has a deceptive win-loss record, right? So his rise to the top 5 of the division, which we saw 2 years ago, included Andrei Arlovsky and Alistair Overeem. And we saw the fall of Overeem right after that. So it was an impressive victory, but maybe in hindsight, not as impressive. But then he lost to Ngannou. That was the one where Ngannou literally just swung as soon as the fight started and knocked him out in like 20 seconds. He beat Junior Dos Santos, which is just like Overeem, like he was on his way out. It's impressive, sure, but he was losing the fight until he got knocked out.
The fight
Until he knocked out JDS.
I believe Junior Dos Santos was the last fight before Cyril game, and that's when he got the boot, right?
Right. And then we saw him go 5 rounds against Cyril Gane, where Gane just absolutely picked him apart. Which, in hindsight, this is another guy. He has a great great loss record. Cyril Gane and Ngannou, the 2 champs of the division right now. This is the only people he's lost to. But when you look at the people he's beaten,
Not that impressive.
oh man, like Overeem's gone, Junior Dos Santos is gone, Andrei Arlovsky is doing good in like we can call it mid cards of the heavyweight division. He's doing good. Augusto Sakai is ranked 9. That's probably his best win. But like, does that really compare to Curtis Blades? Where you look at his record, he lost to Derek Lewis and he lost to Ngannou. And he lost to Ngannou in his first fight in the UFC. That's it. That's his only loss record.
Having to fight Ngannou twice.
Whereas he's beaten Volkov, JDS, Abdurakhimov, Alistair Overeem, Mark Hunt, Alexei Oleinik.
That's a win record right there. Holy crap.
Right, man. And you look at his takedowns, he's another one of the same thing. Like, he didn't get any takedowns against Lewis, which props to Lewis, and that was a bad fight for Blades in the first place. But he got 14 against Volkov.
Fight, though.
He got 5 against Abdurakhimov, 7 against Justin Willis. He got 4 against Overeem, 10 against Mark Hunt, 4 against Oleinik. That's impressive, man.
It's the way he does it.
The Blades and Lewis fight was a boring fight, though.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah, but that's the way Derek Lewis is. He can just take a beating the whole fucking fight.
Is it reading too much into it because of who he's lost to? That his only losses are all by knockout. He got knocked out twice by Ngannou, once by Lewis, who quite possibly are the greatest strikers in heavyweight history. That is a big claim to make, but you certainly could make it.
Well, one of them's got the most knockouts in heavyweight division history.
And the other one has the highest recorded punching power ever.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a very
it's a decently fair statement. You could definitely put up some other people like Shane Carwin, or you could put up Brock Lesnar if you really wanted to. But those are certainly 2 of the best. And I mean, Rosenstrike is not up there, but he has the potential to be. I'm pretty sure Rosenstrike is still kind of young too, right? Oh no, Rosenstrike's 33.
That's a
Blade's
good age
30.
for heavyweight.
It's definitely a good age. It's not old by any means, but it's not young either.
Yeah, I'd be willing to say both of them are equals.
I'm going with Blades.
I have Blades just because the background of fighting styles. I think that after the second round, Rosenstrike's gonna be
I
yes.
think the fighting style.
Might throw up in the ring.
Right.
That was a crazy fight.
All right, so Blades, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there's another one.
I'm not sure if you guys saw the video, but Paddy Pimblett, before
There's
he got to
another
the
one,
UFC,
You think so?
he drank some hot cocoa, and after he finished the fight, and in the octagon interview,
Tiny Kumlet?
Yeah, threw up the hot cocoa
No
all over the place.
Oh my god! Imagine.
then-
I hope that was the main event, so no one's fighting after
I
him.
think it was during the fucking
That's good.
during the different organization fight. Thought he was throwing up blood.
What do we got? We got Doc as well, Shirley, and Blades. All right, I like that so far. All right, here's a celebrity fight. Here's the one everybody's going to be talking about. It's almost sad. It's almost sad to say that this is probably the fight that most people know of on this card.
Yep.
Here's the thing, right? For the purists like ourselves, this fight doesn't belong on the main card. The other part is there's no other choice but to put this fight on the main card. The fact that it sells, the big name in it, Diaz, and Robbie Lawler is a veteran of the sport.
Whoa.
And former champ.
And
a
a pretty
former
big
champ.
name.
He's definitely a big name, but he's on his way out. And Nick Diaz should have
On
been
his
out
way out,
when he was out.
It's consistent.
But it's drawn eyes to it. And what is it? 17 years ago? UFC 48 was when they fought.
That's a good advertising scheme that they made.
It was so long ago, Robbie Lawler had hair.
Yeah.
That's how long ago
Hair
the
Robbie
fight
Lawler.
was.
Wow.
And we've talked about this fight at length on this card, on this podcast. So, I mean, we don't know about Ethan, but we all have Lawler.
I got Diaz.
You got Diaz?
I
got
got
Diaz.
I got Waller, dude.
I think Diaz. I was watching some of the ESPN Plus embedded episodes,
Mhm.
and Diaz was talking about how he's been practicing a lot more jujitsu, and he's been teaching classes of
Mhm.
jujitsu.
I saw that too.
And I think he might not engage in the striking as much. He might try and take him down. He might
Well, that's
he might grapple with him. He might put him in the clinch. I watched the first fight between the two of them,
Mhm.
and when he had him up against the cage in the clinch, he was controlling him. So I think he might just try and grapple with him a little bit more.
Nick Diaz's second fight in the UFC in 2004 is when he fought Robbie Lawler.
Wasn't his last fight like 2016, 5 years ago?
Nick Diaz's last fight was against Anderson Silva in 2015.
2015.
And it was a no contest. His last fight that had an actual ending was against George St. Pierre in 2013.
Wait, why was it a no contest?
They
you know?
both tested
I think,
positive
yeah.
for roids.
They
both did.
Was Diaz weed though? I think he might have tested.
I think
They
it was
both got
weed.
bopped
He
or
got
something.
banned for 5 years after
Yeah.
that.
Was
Yeah,
that
that
what
was
it was?
That was fucked.
That's
That is
crazy.
fucked.
Anderson Silva
Now-
beat
now
him
it's legal.
before it was
I
overturned.
know.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
it's
Hell yeah.
kind of
They
contra-
screwed Nick Diaz.
It's kind of contradictive to look at Nick Diaz's record because we obviously haven't seen him in 6 years. But if
And
you look
Eagle
at it,
Price.
it's a great record.
Yeah.
Like he
Suspended
beat
for
Paul
6
Daly
months.
and
I like
BJ
Eagle
Penn.
Price.
Yeah.
And that's when BJ Penn was really good, and he beat him badly. He doubled his strikes. And then he loses to Carlos Condit, the interim championship, and then he loses to George St. Pierre. Now, he got beat badly both of those times. And then he lost to Anderson Silva. But that was actually when Anderson Silva was out. How the fuck old is Nick Diaz? He's got to be like 39, right?
Anderson Silva 2015 wasn't too bad.
He's 38. Robbie Lawler's 39.
I think he was doing
Nick
good
Diaz
still.
has a 2-fight win streak.
Another thing I like about Nick Diaz though is he works the body throughout the fight with the
Mhm.
body shots. So he's like not always headhunting. He'll work the body first, and then once you start going to protect your body, he's gonna start rocking your head.
Right. He's one of those. He's one of the most.
He's like Nick
His-
Diaz
right.
output.
His
There's a
style
output.
is. It's almost without effort because he'll put 50% in all of his strikes, but like you said, he'll land to the body, he'll land to the legs, he'll hit you in the face, and he will do combos where he hits all three. But he'll throw 350 strikes in a 3-round fight because he just is nonstop, keeps going. Is he going to have the same cardio as he did when he was 33?
Not at
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Is Robbie Lawler going to have the same cardio as he did 5 years ago?
Probably not.
He's what, 43, 44?
It's 39.
Robbie Lawler is 39.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe
That's why
maybe
Lawler. Okay, makes sense
is
now.
my counterpoint because Robbie
Dude,
Lawler's
Lawler's-
last fight was just over a year ago. In his last 4 fights, oh my God, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go over his last couple fights. Neil Magny, who is top 10 right now in welterweight, Colby Covington, Ben
Number
Askren.
two.
Ben Askren is the one outlier. because he fucking sucked.
That was kind of a scam, though.
And that was a terrible call by Herb Dean, who's defended it, but has also said that it
Rafael
was a
dos
terrible call.
Anjos.
RDA, Donald Cerrone, Tyron Woodley, Carlos Condit, Rory McDonald, Johnny Hendricks, and Matt Brown when Matt Brown was a savage. Matt Brown's still a savage.
He
but
beat Donald Cerrone, though.
he beat Cerrone. He beat Condit. This is 2016, but yeah, that's probably too far anyway. But like when you lose to Neil Magny, who's 10 years younger and a hungry challenger, and you lose to Colby Covington, which you don't even need to say anything about that.
Yeah.
The Ben Askren, we're not even going to count that because it was a bad
That was
call.
a win.
Yeah, that was a.
He was gonna
He
win.
choked.
He was
And
gonna
you
win.
lost to RDA, who's top 10 in welterweights right now. Yeah, I think he's like 7. Or no, in lightweight. He's in lightweight right now. Like, he's fighting the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
And Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 5 years.
I think Robbie Lawler
That is the only aspect I need to see. I get that Nick Diaz, like you said, he's well-rounded. He has great jiu-jitsu. And the Diaz brothers have always had great jiu-jitsu.
Mhm.
They've always had tremendous cardio.
Nick Diaz
Is it
pulled
a
off
little less than what it used to be?
Go Plata and Pride. You can watch that on YouTube if you want to be
He
amazed.
pulled off?
Yeah, he landed
No
Go Plata.
shit.
That's like fucking rare.
But fuck, man. Like, Robbie Law, like,
Yeah, I got Robbie Lawler.
it's just like the Edwards
No, I'm
Diaz
still going
fight.
Diaz.
A lot of people are saying because Diaz is looking big and sluggish, in the most recent advertisement. I don't agree with that.
Is this
I
is
think though now
welterweight,
that they
right? It's
moved it to
middleweight.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
moved it to middleweight. So now that I think that they moved the weight class, that they're both gonna have the cardio. They don't have to cut weight. They're fighting at their normal weight. They up the weight
I
class.
think that could just mean that Nick Diaz can just kind of eat a little bit more, and he doesn't have to worry about cutting to 170.
That's what I was thinking too. So that means he won't be as sluggish. He won't have to worry about cutting.
I think he might be sluggish. See, cutting is such an introspective technique where you're either going to lose one of two things. You're going to lose strength, or you're going to lose conditioning, because either you're cutting 30 pounds and only drinking water, or you only have to cut 5 pounds and you're not getting your body to the right muscle percent. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah,
I
get what you're
can't-
saying.
I
Cutting
can't
weight
totally
can
get
fuck you up, or it can make you.
Right. And I think for Nick Diaz, who's someone who's probably not been in the best of shape that he would want to be for the last 5 years, cutting might be an advantage.
So weirdly enough, Nick Diaz, I saw somebody's take on this on Instagram, I believe. Nick Diaz was looking good 3 months ago, like shredded. I'm sure we all saw the fucking pictures.
Yeah.
Now in this newest press conference, well, first he has to move to 185. Nick Diaz is the perpetrator of 185 fight. And Robbie Lawler's cool dude, agreed.
Yeah.
But I think Nick Diaz could have been injured. I think Nick Diaz could
That's
have gotten
that's
injured.
part of it. And you just made me think of something else. Now we're going to get to see Robbie Lawler with 15 pounds of muscle.
That'll be interesting. And he's 39. I thought he was 44. That's why I was on the border.
He could be like Robbie Lawler has never came into a fight out of shape.
I love the
Never.
I love the Diaz brothers. You can see me screeching about fucking
I
Nick Diaz
absolutely do
versus
too. And I hope
Leon
he's
Edwards
smoking a
on
blunt in
that.
the press conference. I hope he's flipping him off in the octagon. That shit's awesome. But like, what's gonna happen when the cage doors close?
Yeah.
I think Robbie's gonna win.
Happen? I think it's gonna be a great
See how it
fight.
goes.
I think it's a
It
great
is
fight,
gonna
and
be
I
a
think
good
it's gonna
fight.
go to a decision.
It's going to
too.
be a great fight.
Is it a
It's either
3-round fight?
gonna 5.
Is it a 5-round
Yeah,
fight?
it's 5.
Okay. Then maybe not. Maybe it won't go to a decision. Maybe it will.
I'm going 4th round. Nick Diaz with a submission.
Okay. I can
Ooh.
see that. I think 3rd or 4th round is where it ends. Either way.
I'm surprised Robbie Lawler's still in this, man.
I you know what's crazy is this is probably the most Robbie Lawler's ever going to get paid for a fight. And he's
Probably.
fighting
He's
a guy
on-
who hasn't fought in 6 years.
He's probably gonna be done after this.
I would assume so.
Good age to retire before 40.
Damn.
GSP said it best himself.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler was the first champ after
It's not
GSP
a-
left the division, right?
It's not a good pod bet.
At 170.
It's not a good bet for the
Johnny
pod
Hendricks
because it
was.
could go
And then Robbie
either
Lawler
way.
beat Johnny Hendricks.
It's a 50-50.
first real
It's a
champ.
50-50
And that's when we
fight.
saw Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald wars.
That was fucking insane.
That was one of the greatest fights ever in UFC, top 5.
Yeah.
One where Rory McDonald had such a broken nose, but he didn't know it until he touched it in the 5th round, and then he just went down. He's like, no, I'm done. Like, I can't even do it. He literally just touched his nose. He's like, oh, fuck that.
And Lawler has had
In one of the
was
greatest
slick
title
as
fights
that.
ever.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, and it's lit. All right. We
It
don't,
shows
need
you how tough he is.
to, we don't need to
Hell
spend
yeah.
too much time talking
Dude
about
ain't got
this.
No quit.
Yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Hands up if you got Lauren Murphy. Right.
Yeah.
Shevchenko on a tear. I don't even want to look at her record.
Minus
But
14
I'm
units.
Shevchenko by TKO. I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
it's gonna
Shevchenko by
happen.
TKO.
Could be by
Absolutely.
KO.
What do you mean? She might do a submission.
She could.
She absolutely could, but
That'd be a
TKO
bummer.
is definitely
That'd be a bummer, man.
Joanna Young, Jacek, Jessica I, Liz Carmouche, Caitlin Chukagian, Jennifer Maia, Jessica Andrade in her last
Zach,
6 wins, and
you
none
don't
of them
even-
have been close.
You don't even need to say it. We know this answer. The only woman that beats
Absolutely.
Shevchenko is Nunez.
And Shevchenko said on, I can't remember what podcast it was, that she wants a trilogy fight with Nunez.
Fuck.
Listen, should you get a trilogy if you've lost the person twice? It's tough to say, but of all the people that
Could
like
do
we
it.
saw, for instance, we saw Masvidal, who had a title fight with extenuating circumstances. He took it on 5 days' notice, whatever the fuck it was, and he almost won, or he went to a decision. And then we saw him get a title shot in his next fight. Whereas Shevchenko last lost to Nunez in 2017, and since then has 7 fights in a row, 6 of them for a championship.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think she should get a rematch against Amanda Nunes. And I think that is easily the most marketable women's fight the UFC can make from a business standpoint. It totally makes sense. And here's the other part of it. Amanda Nunes is going to retire soon.
I don't want her to. It's too
She's
soon.
got a new. She's got a
She has a
kid.
daughter
does.
or a son. Right, she has a
But you know what? That's extra money you could be making. That's extra fame
It
to
is
your
true.
name.
That is true.
I'd be willing to put Nunez over GSP soon. Like fucking
Absolutely.
the way she's been
Zach.
running.
Do you know who Kayla Harrison from the PFL is?
I don't.
She's the PFL. They have this women's champion who's been dominating.
Okay.
Same weight class as Amanda Nunes, and
Ooh. Okay.
they've been comparing them pretty similar to the two fighters. And they don't know. Maybe Kayla Harrison might be able to beat Amanda Nunes if they were in the same organization.
Okay, Kayla Harrison's another one. And what's the other girl that has just recently, I think she's only had 2 or 3 fights in the UFC, but she's like 24 years old and she's knocking everybody out. What's that girl's name? She has a cool last name. Maverick. Miranda Maverick.
Yeah.
She's
She
the
lost
other
her
one.
last fight though.
Did she lose?
Yeah.
She won that fight.
Yeah,
she
it was
close.
kinda- it was
She won
kinda
that
bold.
fight.
Oh, was it a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah,
decision?
bad
You hate to
judge.
see that because she was totally undefeated before that, right?
There ain't nothing like bad judging in the UFC. It's always present.
Yeah, it is.
I think honestly though, like speaking honestly here, I'm a fan of hers. but
Macy Barber, that's right. She did.
she
get
was
fucked up.
losing towards the end of the fight.
Yeah, third round.
That's totally,
Third round, she
and
put it
I
that's
know,
a
but
big point, man.
she was about to choke her out in the second.
It could have been a 10-8.
All right, so give props. We got to talk about
Oh,
Lauren
shit,
Murphy
man.
for a second here.
Yeah.
She is on a 5-fight win streak, and there's she beat Joanne Calderwood, which is good. But
She got rocked in that fight. Lauren Murphy should have got knocked out. Shevchenko's knocking her out.
I
No
hate
one's beating Shevchenko.
no one's beating
Shevchenko's
Shevchenko
knocking
except
her
Amanda Nunes.
We're
No one.
Shevchenko fanboys here.
And
And with good reason.
Yeah.
now that she's added, I mean, she's always had it, obviously, but now that she's like actually a complete fighter, like she could take you down and fucking wrestle you, makes her so much scarier. So much scarier.
She's the
I'm
most
betting
well-rounded
betting
person in this
card.
division, that's
I'm
for sure.
betting-
Only countered by Nunez,
I'm
who's
putting the
literally
hammer
basically the
Me
same
too.
credentials.
Shevchenko is minus 14 units, and she is still worth the sweat.
Yeah, worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In a parlay, yeah, it's worth it.
All
Yeah,
right.
Fuck it.
We only
Go
got
on
one
there,
more
Austin.
fight. We're
Hang
gonna
on,
talk.
what's the over under? What's the over under? What do you think the over under in that
Austin is
fight
on
is?
there.
Shevchenko
3.5
Murphy.
rounds or 4.5 rounds.
I was gonna say fucking 2.5.
You think so?
I think it's 2.5.
It's gonna load, but
I'm guessing 3.5.
I'm gonna go.
I think it's 2.5 or 3.5. I think that's probably the safe
Yeah,
bet.
it's.
I mean, oh no, she did knock out Andrade in the second last time, but her fight before that went to a 5-round
It
decision.
is 2.5.
Yeah.
It's 2.5.
Under over.
risky biz.
Tough.
In a 3-round.
Over. I'm
Under.
gonna take
under.
over.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna take
I
over.
might go with Zach here on the over the 2.5.
Yeah.
Do you think? Who do you
That's
think wins?
tough,
It?
though.
Who do you think wins in a 3-round fight?
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
Yeah. I think Shevchenko wins in a 1-round, 2-round, 3-round, 4-round, 5-round. I think she can
It
win
don't
in a
matter what
12-round
round.
fight.
It's all good.
Think Lauren Murphy can win in the first 2 rounds?
No.
No.
Nope. Just yeah.
Isn't
it's
Murphy
better.
older too?
I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, Murphy's definitely older. I don't think Shevchenko's that old though. Murphy's 38, Shevchenko's 33. Murphy has half-inch reach advantage. Everything else like that.
Shevchenko about to get another.
Murphy looks
Shevchenko
ripped,
about to
but
another.
Murphy, yeah.
Shevchenko is just technicality wise.
Shevchenko was a Muay Thai world champion twice before she was like 24. And then she went to the UFC. And she's just been fucking everybody up ever since. Like it.
How much have you done?
You know what I mean? Let's
Trying,
look at.
man. I'm trying.
You want to talk about a loss record? She's only lost to Amanda Nunes. How great is that a loss record?
That's
Great.
the best.
Bro.
Really
When
the
you've
best
only
there is.
lost to a top 3 of all time.
By
That's
decision.
pretty fucking good.
By decision.
Should we
right?
take
It was
a loan
split
out?
decision.
Yeah,
we
it
take-
wasn't knockout.
Should we take a
No.
loan out?
Should we take $150,000 loan out
Just put it
Put it
all
on
on
her.
Shevchenko.
All on shit.
just to win what? What?
$500.
What would that
That
win?
would be like 10,000.
That's what I was thinking too, Zach. It'd probably be around that.
Yeah,
Probably be like
We'd
10
get taxed
fucking
on the
thousand
loan.
bucks.
it would be $10,000.
Don't even get enough for the interest for the loan.
I know.
Fuck it. Put the rest on Amanda Nunes next fight.
Dude, it's so crazy.
All right, we got one more fight to talk about, the main event of UFC 266. The reason we are all here, we're going to take a quick commercial break before you do. Make sure you check out nakedsports.com, check out fansonlysports.com, go check out our YouTube page, MMA Complete Podcast. We've been getting a couple new subscribers. Go follow us on Twitter. We'll be live tweeting all the way to the show and through the show, and check out our pay-per-view live stream this Saturday at 8 p.m. till 1 a.m. or whenever it ends. Hopefully it ends before 1 a.m. I think last time it did, right?
Yeah.
Cyril Gahn one.
Hopefully-
But we didn't even record the last
Oh,
one.
I fucking left.
Nah, not that. That was a fight night. That was Jose Aldo, right? I think that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be right back to talk about Volkanovski versus Ortega. Chev.
You're gonna stay with her on the room.
No, I'm gonna get my own place.
Be like, oh yeah. You
All right.
You can hook it up.
We're doing serious business with a pod bet, but we will resume shortly.
That's cool.
I mean, yeah, there you go. That's
This
fine.
is Valentine.
We know who you're talking about.
Fuck.
All right,
I get you get the
Volkanovski versus Ortega. This is obviously really anticipated because of the Ultimate Fighter, even though I didn't watch any of the Ultimate Fighter. Dylan was our Ultimate Fighter expert. Did you watch any of it?
Man, he's
I
not
watched a
here.
couple episodes. Yeah,
I heard it was pretty good. I heard they had some cook-offs and they had some shit like that.
I saw some of the shenanigans where they were pranking each other. When
With the COVID test.
yeah, and I saw the snakes when they brought the snakes into the locker room.
Oh yeah, wasn't which one of them got scared by the snake?
Volkanovski, I think.
Yeah. And then
Oh, man.
Ortega was just like chilling with it.
Yeah,
Volkanovski's from New
and
Zealand.
then and I think Ortega pranked Volkanovski and like he took his wheels off of his Jeep and he gave him like a horse carriage.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, so I got
I
Volkanovski.
gotta do that to someone.
Anybody else?
I picked Ortega from the beginning, so I'm going to stick with him. But some note I want to mention: just Volkanovski's wrestling and fucking striking speed. It
Mhm.
can't be ignored.
Mhm.
It can't be ignored. The output of this guy.
Dude, he's been training with Gordon Ryan. And
Yeah, he's a savage.
Who
He's
you
a
got?
savage
I
champion.
got Volkanovski.
Ortega.
So we got 2 Ortega, 2 Volkanovski. Is it worth mentioning that
He is on a
the
roll.
other big member of our crew, Dylan Furtado, also picks Ortega?
Yeah, he does.
I haven't heard from Mike or Colby one way or the other. I assume they'll probably be at the pay-per-view live stream. But we are in the minority here. Everybody else is saying Ortega. We got the champ.
Yeah, whatever. I like that.
So here's my
I like
biggest
being the underdog.
reason that I think
You're always the
Ortega
favorite.
could win, and then I'm going to say why I think Volkanovski will win.
Mm.
Ortega has the jiu-jitsu advantage. Ortega is
Whoa.
He definitely
He
does.
does.
I don't know.
yeah,
He
dude.
does.
No, Brian
Did you
Ortega
watch
is
his
no.
match against Cub Swanson?
ridiculous
I don't give
on
a
the
fuck.
ground, dude.
He's not training with. He's not training with who Volkanovski's
Volkanovski's training with
He's
people he's
prepared.
training with to prepare for
He's
Ortega.
prepared, yeah, but he's been training with these people. It's not just he's not like
So-
he just started.
So that's the only way that I can see Ortega winning, because on the feet, standing, I have Volkanovski. Wrestling, I have Volkanovski. Jiu-jitsu, I have Ortega. So like I could see Volkanovski getting 6 takedowns, but on the 6th one, he gets caught in a guillotine and gets choked out.
Yep.
That rarely.
I totally can see that
He's
happening.
Now,
gonna
while
get
it
choked
still
out.
while it still does happen, rarely happens in today's UFC because everybody just has so much fucking awareness
Mhm.
of what's coming. This is a honed sport, 30-year sport, 30 years old now,
Right.
maybe older.
92 was UFC 1.
Yeah, 30 years
almost
old
30.
now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what a fucking guillotine is. Everybody knows what a triangle is. That Chipper Chase on in like 2012. Fucking everybody knows that shit now. I mean, if they both train jiu-jitsu, I don't see Ortega being so. Volkanovski being so ignorant during a takedown to let his head get on the outside of Ortega's body.
But
and
you
get
never
dumped
know.
in
The
deep.
fourth round, when you're in deep water and you might have taken a shot and you go for a takedown and get some rest, and then you got Ortega who's going to take advantage of that shit. You never know.
Yeah,
I
he's
think you're
tired.
right. I think you're right. I think both of these guys are very obviously prepared and they know their shit, both wrestling and standing up. I said that Volkanovski has a striking advantage. It's not by much.
Yeah,
Ortega
Ortega
has the
stepped
ju-
up. He stepped up his striking in that last match against
Dude,
Korean
against
Zombie.
Korean Zombie, he
Yeah, he looked great.
absolutely did. He was fucking him up. I think
The
he
spinning
knocked down
elbow.
Korean Zombie twice.
Yeah, the spinning elbow, that was nasty.
But listen, Volkanovski went 10 rounds with Max Holloway and beat him twice. Second one in my book has an asterisk. I think Holloway won, but he beat Holloway twice.
Technically speaking.
Holloway
Holloway
is
won
the
second.
greatest striker in that division's history. I'm sorry, Jose Aldo. I'm sorry, Connor. Holloway's the best striker in that division. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Holloway. I agree. Holloway
He's the
is
best
the
boxer.
featherweight goat,
I'm the best boxer. I'm the best
Right.
boxer.
but I still think Ortega is going to take down Volkanovski this time. Ortega's the younger fighter.
Mhm.
He's got 2 inches in height, although his arm reach is not,
Yeah, Volkanovski
The
just has some
same,
long ass arms.
but his leg length is probably
Mhm.
longer because of his height.
Volkanovski's a brick shithouse. He's a former rugby player.
He's
He's tough as
dense.
fuck.
He used to weigh what, 225 or 240?
Yeah. His first professional fight was at light heavyweight. I'm pretty sure.
No, it was welterweight.
170?
Not welterweight, middleweight.
185.
185, yeah.
And now he's down to 135. I mean, we haven't seen Volkanovski lose in the UFC, and Ortega's only loss in his career was when Max Holloway beat him so badly his corner threw in the towel.
Yeah, that was a tough fight, though.
Before Max Holloway's most recent record-breaking performance, that was the record-breaking performance of most strikes landed in a fight. Max Holloway has the 2 most landed
strikes ever.
strikes
Yeah.
in fights. Volkanovski beat him twice, and he kicked the shit out of Ortega. And if you play the rule of dominoes that so often misleads us in UFC, that means Volkanovski should beat the shit out of Ortega. I don't think it'll happen like that. I think this will go to a decision. I'm definitely saying Volkanovski by decision in my own personal bets, if I do bet that. But I can, if Volkanovski doesn't get choked out or, arm, or doesn't get submitted, then I think it goes to a decision in favor of Volkanovski.
Yeah, I think he wins.
Moneyline Ortega.
That's probably.
I don't know.
It might not even be that crazy, but it's definitely the underdog.
I'll
risky
stick with
bet.
him.
I
I'll
would
stick
say
with
it's
him.
probably
I've been saying
minus
that
2.
for like 4 months now.
It's probably
I ain't,
I had bet too.
I ain't betting on it.
I like
I know,
Ortega's
that's a
takedown
tough
ability.
I
one,
ain't betting
man.
on it. It's not worth
Yes,
picking
it's not
I
Volkanovski.
think he's going to clinch him
Right,
up, too.
right.
He won't just stand up straight up with him. He's not going to stand there and just trade shots with him. He's going to clinch him. He'll
Right.
put him up against the fence.
It's not
He
putting
won't let
Robbie
him
on
just
there either.
punish him standing up.
It's not putting it. It's not worth it.
I think that's a good.
Not
I
worth
think that's a
betting
good
on that
assessment.
fight.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think so?
He's got to close the gap, though.
What is Robbie? Is Robbie the favorite?
I think it's even.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, so it's really fucking
Diaz
close.
is plus
It's
one,
minus
150.
He's
I was
plus
thinking it'd be
115.
minus 120.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck
Because
yeah.
that video came out and he's looking just a little
No,
chubbier.
it's-
Like people take that into account.
I saw some training clips of him running. He looks a
Nick
little chubby
Diaz is
running.
Oh, you could totally put Jessica Andrade on.
The Diaz brothers
Yeah,
never
okay,
really
I
had
wanted
to
to- I
versus
wanted to-
Shelby.
No, that's not what they're about. They're about
How's
healthy.
he doing
Yeah,
fine?
that's what they are. They're just fucking zombies.
Go big or go home. But yeah, I
It should
totally
be a good
get what you're
card.
saying. If there's
Yeah,
any
I'm fucking
on
looking
this
forward
that
to
I
it.
wouldn't
I'm
do,
looking
it would
forward
be
to
Chris
this.
Dawkins.
Really?
Because we don't know
I'll place
enough
it.
about him.
Yeah. I'm broke right now, so I'm gonna stay
You don't
down
like
on this
Chris
one.
Dawkins?
I'll watch.
I like Chris Dawkins,
Might be
but I don't know
$20.
enough about Shamil
Well,
Abdurakhimov.
the way we were doing it, if we win fucking big money,
Or
fucking
what?
buying parts.
Nice
Nice.
camera.
What else was I had one more
Five.
thing I was going to talk about. Oh,
Robbie Lawler.
you guys will all be
No.
interested to know.
Andrade.
You guys will all be
Yeah,
interested to
yeah.
know that the greatest bantamweight on the planet, Chris Moutinho, has another fight scheduled.
Yeah, he does.
Anybody?
it's
Chris
October.
Represent
Moutinho?
Massachusetts.
He is repping, and I saw some head movement in his training videos. So he's a dangerous man now.
He's got to go for some takedowns.
He's a
He
dangerous,
saw some
dangerous
head
man.
movement.
He posted it on his Instagram. He said, "For all you who are fucking talking about head movement, here you go." Funny fucking post.
He's got to go for some takedowns too. You don't go for no takedowns.
He does
Dude,
have
fuck
that,
that.
for amateur fighting career.
Chris Moutinho should be a game changer in the UFC. He should be the first guy.
I'm rooting for him.
He should be the first guy that never wins a fight, but is so entertaining and takes so many shots that he just keeps getting contracts. That's what he should fucking do.
Brain damage central.
Right. Exactly. Go big or go
Hey,
home.
I'm not sure if you guys heard. I've been keeping up on Paddy Pimblett because you know I'm a bandwagon rider.
Mhm.
I'm a fan.
I like Patty.
Is he
not bad.
lightweight?
He's a lightweight, 155. He got into a beef with Sean O'Malley after his fucking win, and everybody's been saying, I've just been hearing it around the block from everybody, oh, these two fighters can never fight. Sean's 135 and Paddy Pimblett's 155. And I'm like, hey, why could they not? Sean O'Malley's an inch taller.
Meet at featherweight.
Yeah, meet at 145. The answer's right there. One-time fucking show. Make
That
some
would be
cash.
interesting. That would be some
I'm going
hair.
O'Malley then.
Yeah,
I'm going O'Malley then.
I'm going Paddy Pimblett just because his takedown.
Yeah, Patty has really
He's
good
got good
wrestling.
grappling.
Yeah.
Really
Is
good
it
wrestling.
worth Shevchenko? Is it worth the sweat
Yes.
for
Yes.
25?
Yes.
All striking
For
there.
25
Yes.
I
points.
think Sean could very easily win by
If it's
decision.
stand up, yeah. If you don't let him take him down,
I'd rather
Chris-
bet
Paddy
if
Pimblett.
we
the
all
way
come to
he's
an
a
agreement by TKO
slug.
I saw his
grappler.
highlights.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine
saw
with
him in
that. I'm
Cage
fine with
Warrior.
Shevchenko by TKO.
He's fucking slug.
And not
man.
put it
Like,
on the
grab
parlay.
onto you and just like you fall.
Can you
down
not put that
somehow,
on a
you know?
parlay?
That weird
Well,
fucking
no, you can't.
weight.
Oh, then let's do both then. Dude, Valentina's money line. I don't give a fuck. It could be minus
But it's only
6,000.
for
It's worth
25.
the sweat.
25 points.
It's worth.
Add it to the
sweat.
parlay.
It's 25 points. Okay.
Add it to the parlay.
Who are we talking about?
Valentina Shevchenko, whether she's worth
Add
going on the
her.
parlay.
Yes, of course she is. She's without fail.
We make
That's
an
a
extra.
lot,
we make an
though.
extra
That is a
$40.
lot.
Might as well add it. It's a lock.
If anything, Chris Dawkins is most risky there.
Right. That's what I
Should we
said.
take him off?
Not yet, but that's
What are the
definitely we got to
odds
talk
for
about it.
He's got the best odds on there.
Is he the biggest
Yeah,
underdog?
He is our biggest.
Is he? Oh, then we might know.
He's minus
I'm
195.
taking him, dude.
He's what?
I really think Chris
195.
Dawkins wins that.
I think
Minus?
he's quick enough. I think. He
Oh,
can
so
pull it
that
off
so he has like the
100%.
best odds. You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, he has the
Got it.
best odds for our
Right.
pot.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Oh my God, Shevchenko's such the favorite. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Wow. So is Curtis Blades.
What,
yeah.
Is he?
What's Curtis Blades looking like?
Wow. Minus 340.
Oof. That's insanity.
Oh, so is Walsh Willie. Oh, we're just picking all the favorites, huh?
I know.
We're
I
totally
know,
picking all the favorites.
I
Let's
know.
throw
But
Talia
they're heavy-
Santos while
they're
we're
heavy
in there.
favorites.
Yeah, might as well.
No.
Yeah,
no.
she's got one loss. Are you
No,
serious?
no. They ain't worth it.
Add
I've
it.
seen shit happen.
Ortega
I
Volkanovski
add-
over
After
under.
you get past 5,
Ooh,
it's all
over,
a fucking
over
risk.
for Ortega Volkanovski. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, the over is the favorite. The under is actually
How much?
We're talking realistic. What's
It's
the
very.
under looking
It's
like?
very.
Close?
Yeah, it's very close.
Over.
I
What
would
is it?
also
What
say
is it,
over.
4.5
I
or
definitely
is
would
it
say
3.5?
Yep, 4.5.
Oof.
It's got to go to
Fuck
decision.
that.
Are we
right?
sure
I
that
think it
Lawler
goes to
Diaz
decision.
is a 5-round fight? Because the over under is 2.5.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a 5-round fight.
Lawler
No,
has
it's a
power.
co-main. It's a co-main.
It's not a co-main. Murphy
Oh, it's a
Shevchenko's the
yeah,
co-main.
It's the third, but I'm 100% sure it's a 5-round fight.
Nah.
Curtis Blades Rosenstrike over under is 1.5.
I do the over.
The over is the favorite.
Oof. Okay, I like that. Because that bumps it up. That bumps it.
What?
That's what it is.
The over instead of Curtis Blades?
The over in Curtis Blades and everyone.
I wouldn't want to put the over.
I'd
'cause
stay away from that.
Yeah, that could totally. It could
Heavyweight.
totally get
Failure
knocked out.
parlay.
Heavyweight is never an
Curtis
over.
Blades is going to take him to the
Well,
ground. I
under
got
always.
Curtis Blades by decision. I'm going to bet him by decision.
I think
Me
that's
too.
safe. You never know though. Now he'll get a takedown and be like, I'm gonna start TKOing motherfuckers. Slim Rosen
Problem
strike out.
is like, when do you ever go 6-0 on a freaking UFC fight night?
I've
Never.
done it.
I know. I've done
I've
it too.
I've done
I've
it.
gone 9-10. I lost on Izzy versus Jan Blachowicz.
Oh.
I was
Ah.
9 out of 10 that night.
How much money?
I would have won $1,100 on a $10 bet.
Damn.
The best night of betting I had was the Poirier McGregor 3
I
card.
was so mad.
I
that
got
night.
like the
I
last
feel your
7.
pain. So does Austin.
Yeah, man.
Dan Izzy. I even had the over.
We should have walked
I
out
even
of
had
that.
the over on the rounds on the Jan Blachowicz.
We should have
I just need
walked out
Izzy
of
to win.
We should have walked out.
When is Izzy versus
Fucking
Whitaker
Izzy.
going to get announced, man?
Crazy.
When is that shit going to get announced? They said they have talks of it for January of next year, but it hasn't been announced yet.
What do you think about Dan Hooker? Though, you think Dan Hooker wins or loses?
I think Dan Hooker wins.
I gotta say Dan Hooker. I don't even know
Yeah.
Nakra.
the conditions though with the
That's a risky
with
bet.
the visa is tough for him.
That's a
Yeah.
risky bet.
Yeah.
A lot
But,
of stress.
We've seen fighters come in on a week notice. Like, not like
Jorge Masvidal taking deals against like
Kamaru
Usman.
Usman on like
Right.
2 weeks or something, less than 2 weeks. And you know what? He probably didn't have a good flight. So,
Right.
I think anything's possible, man. I think Dan Hooker, he is hungry for this.
Yeah, he's coming off of what, 2 losses?
Yeah, he's looking like he's not a bum, but he probably feels like I gotta fucking
we gotta
win.
win
Right.
a pod bet.
I'll probably
That's
take
what
Hooker
I
on
mean.
my parlay.
Yeah,
I'd say I would.
on the parlay
Hypothetically.
probably, maybe on the pod bet, but yeah, I would definitely take Hooker.
I don't want to put him on the pod bet.
No.
He's a risky
I'm not
bet.
betting, so that's up to you guys.
You're
But
betting on the pod.
I'm fucking job hunting. Let me tell you that. So I gotta watch my cash.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
No, sir. I gotta
Anything else?
I'm all
think.
set.
think.
Thanks for having me, Zach.
No.
Hey, thank you for joining the pod, man.
No
Hope you
problem.
come more often. Love
was
to have
fun.
you. Everybody, make sure you tune into the live stream this Saturday. We live stream every single pay-per-view. We're going to be live streaming 266 this Saturday, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're going to be doing 267 and 268 the same date, the same times. An interesting note is that it's been confirmed UFC 267 and 268 are going to be back-to-back weekends, October 30th and then November 6th. So we are going to have a good, really good 2 weeks of UFC because those cards are stacked. We're running out of time, so we can't really go through and give our predictions, but I'm going to really quickly run through the fights. 267, Blachowicz Teixeira, Sterling Yan, Makhachev Dos Anjos, Jingliang Kamaev, Harris Tuvasa, Volkov Tabura, and Ozdemir Ankalaev. 268, Usman versus Covington, Namajunas versus Zhang, Gaethje versus Chandler, Rockhold versus Strickland, Durandamy versus Aldana, Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera, and Edmund Shabazian versus, I can't remember the first name. But that is a crazy amount of really good fights in 2 weeks' time.
That is fucking.
It's
insane.
ridiculous.
Stacked card.
The week before it, by the way, we have Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori.
I'm excited for
Just
that.
saying.
I think
And
Vettori.
Chris Moutinho.
No, Paulo
I think
Costa.
Vettori.
Who's
Oh, I got
Kazmat
Vettori.
Kamaev?
Paulo
I
Costa.
got Marvin Vettori.
He's gonna be
I got
all
Marvin
shallow
I
with them
think-
relates.
Yeah, he is
Um,
worried. Dude, there's no
Is
way that guy
Kazmat Kamaev on here?
He's gonna
Yeah,
be all
Kazmat
shot
Kamaev
up.
is
He's gonna fuck
267.
him up.
Right
I
there.
think Marvin's
October 30th.
style is
I'm
just
betting
so
the
boring
fucking house
that
on
it's
this.
impenetrable
I don't
unless
care.
you-
I don't care.
Probably.
I think Paulo's gonna knock him out.
Kazmat Kamaev, what is your thoughts?
Kazmat.
Kamzat.
Kazmat. Whatever.
Is that the
I get
welterweight?
confused.
Magomez.
Is that the
Sure.
welterweight?
Yeah, no, it's middleweight. That's the guy that went back and forth between welterweight and middleweight.
Is he the one with the beard? He's got no
Smash.
hair.
Yes, that guy.
Oh, he hasn't. He's been what? He's been delaying fights,
4-0.
hasn't he?
Yeah.
No, he retired and then he came back. He retired because he had a COVID instance where he got like depleted and then he was like, "Fuck this."
He thought he was,
I think
he
he's.
thought he
I
had
think
cancer.
he's a good fighter. I think he's a good wrestler, but I'm not sure though.
Yeah, right. He's
He ain't-
4-0.
He ain't the,
He's
he ain't the god that
4-0.
they make him out to be.
No,
He's just another guy that fucking. Let me tell you, what's he fighting at now? 170.
185. He fights. He
185.
fights at both.
Let me tell you,
welterweight and
Izzy would put that guy away.
for sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
But these
Or-
no
or
namers,
Usman.
these no namers,
Right,
you can
yeah,
put
that's
away.
But he
Usman.
fights scrubs. He's fighting Li Jingliang.
Yeah.
He fought Gerard Mishrak, who the last fight we saw
We're
him
not
actually
going
fucking
to
won.
talk about
He
Gerald.
won.
They're not even
Mearshart.
ranked
won a good
opponents.
We're
fight.
not
are
going to
they?
talk about Gerald
He
Mearshart.
knocked him out in 13 seconds.
We're not going to talk about him.
He did a good
One
fight.
punch.
That is the worst bet.
His
we've ever
redemption
done.
arc has
We're
started.
all set.
He's coming back.
It's okay.
I
don't
like
wanna
I
bother
like
him.
Islam Makhachev more than
Islam
him.
Makhachev. Oh yeah, Makhachev is definitely the better
Yeah,
fighter.
Islam is
Yeah, of
scary.
course.
I called that
Fucking
whole
terrifying,
fight. I
that
knew
guy.
he was going to win by submission. I kicked him.
I was also picking that guard.
He was good. He's good. He's good. I think he's the future champion.
He could be very much at lightweight.
We
Future
got
contender, 100%.
we got in those two pay-per-views, 267, 268, 4 title fights and 2, possibly 3 number 1 contender fights.
Yawn.
That is ridiculous.
Yawn.
Yeah.
That is an
If
easy
Jan,
bet.
if Peter Yan,
Piotr Yan.
he might kill him in there. he might kill him. He tried the first time.
He tried the first fucking time. Yeah,
0
he
for
did.
1.
I actually won my bet because of that DQ.
I did too.
Oh, no.
I did too.
That made me so happy.
Peter Yan was just standing there with his fist
Yeah,
up, like he
but-
knew what he did.
Yeah, but now it's like, now you know.
I knew I lost
Now
my
you
bet,
know.
but I actually won my bet.
Now you know. All right, that's gonna do it. Episode 65 in the books. We'll be back every Thursday at 7 p.m. our new time slot, and make sure you come check us out this Saturday at 8 p.m. Thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you go check out nakedsports.com and go follow us on Twitter at complete_MMA. Again, thank you very much to Ethan for coming on the pod. Thank you,
you.
everybody, boys. We will be back on Saturday and every Thursday at 7 p.m. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for tuning in.